Hey folks, welcome to another edition of PlayBranson, where you get to know Branson entertainers better. My name's Chris Meyer. I'm going to be your host for the show today. And on today's show, we have Ashley Dawn. She's with the Branson's famous Baldknobbers. We had her on the show about 3 years ago, and at that point, we said she was a kind of a Branson up-and-comer. And right after she was on the show, I think it occurred then that she got a job at the Baldknobbers, and we just called that one right, I think. And so it's been interesting to watch her career. We're looking forward to talking to her more. But I do want to talk about today, just here in the opening, the new Thunder Ridge Nature Arena south of town. Now, maybe you haven't heard about this, but Johnny Morris has built one of the biggest outdoor amphitheaters in the country just south of Branson. And just recently, a little over a month ago, Garth Brooks was here for 3 public concerts and then one private event. And so Garth did a great job. I happened to go to 2 nights myself just because I wanted to see it. They put on a spectacular show. The weather was awesome. Now, if you heard anything, you may have heard that the traffic was a mess and a problem. Well, guess what? It was for Friday night especially. Now, on Saturday, I think people got in, they got to see the show, people loved it. And, you know, when you put on an event like that, people, and I started thinking about this because I said, you know what, people get in and out of Branson shows really easily. This was a whole different ball of wax, folks. We're talking over 20,000 people, and you cannot expect everybody to get out at once and get home super fast. That's not how it works when you have that many people. So you got to learn to be patient, number one. But I think once people kind of realized that, they planned accordingly. There was people out there tailgating, having a great time. Great venue. Of course, as part of the Garth show, they had an air show. They had people dropping from skydiving. And so I want to say thanks to the folks out there for bringing Garth into Branson. I'm looking forward to the other shows they will be bringing here into the area. If you didn't know, they have passed a transportation tax for Big Cedar properties. They are going to do a lot of expansion on the infrastructure that will help ease that congestion in and out. Now, I was told that from a shuttle perspective that because of the hurricane in Florida, a lot of the shuttles ended up having to go down there with FEMA. And so that made some challenges there. But overall, I think the 60 or so thousand plus people that went had a great time here in Branson. So once again, I want to say thank you to Garth Brooks for coming and Johnny Morris for building a great facility. We'll be back in just a minute with Ashley Dawn.
There are so many things to do in Branson. You need help planning and booking all your fun. You need iBranson.com. You can find everything Branson has to offer from your computer, tablet, or cell phone. You can even buy tickets online or talk to one of their friendly Branson travel specialists. There's no sales pitches, no delivery fees, no service fees, and no waiting. It's fast and easy. Find your fun at iBranson.com. Do it all online or call 877-ENTERTAIN. That's 877-368-3782. iBranson.com.
Hey folks, welcome back to PlayBranson, and on today's show we have Ashley Dawn, and it's been like 3 years since you've been on the show, so welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
A lot has happened in 3 years to you.
Yeah.
So you're a singer now on the Branson Baldknobbers show.
Yes. Shortly after the interview that we did, they gave me a call and said that they had an opening and they'd like me to come in and audition. So I did, and I got the job. So I started in 2020.
Let's go back way before that, because you've had a musical career history. And so kind of educate people. Maybe they didn't see that episode 3 years ago. Tell people about your background.
Okay. So I grew up singing Southern gospel. My dad was a pastor, and I sang with my brother and sister in a Southern gospel group called the Praters. That was our last name. And we toured all during our teenage years, had a bus and did about 200 concerts a year.
That's a lot.
And so that was a great opportunity growing up. And we would kind of come down to Branson quite a bit. My sister and I did competitions through American Kids here and just kind of cultivated our skills even further doing that. So I love Branson. We grew up an hour and a half north of here, so we were always coming down here. And when we were finished with our group, after we all got married, then I just kind of had a lull for a little while where I didn't sing and raise kids. I've got 4 kids now. And then I moved back to Branson about 5 years ago and decided I'm going to get back into it, and here I am.
Here you are. So you kind of did the gospel singing thing, quit, and then you're like, no, I'm going to get back into this. And so when you first came to Branson, did you, I mean, you didn't have a gig at that point in time.
No, I didn't. Actually was going through a divorce, and so I knew singing, and that's what I wanted to do. I knew that that's what the gift that God had given me, and so I wanted to cultivate that. And since Branson is such a family-oriented place, I knew that it would be great to bring my kids here, and so that's what I did. And it took a little bit, but you know, I fell into some opportunities that just got me to where I am, and God's just been unfolding it since.
Yeah. So besides the Baldknobbers, and we're going to talk more about that show, but you've also done some stuff with a military group.
That was actually the first thing that I did when I moved to Branson. My landlord was the drummer for the 135th Army Band Aftershock, and he learned about me, and we got to talking, and so that opportunity presented itself whenever they lost their lead singer. And so they contracted me in, and I did that for a couple years with them. So that was really great at just kind of getting me back into singing, and right. It broadened my repertoire of genres and my vocal range, and just really conditioned me for getting back into singing. So amazing opportunity doing military balls and doing some tours, high schools and theme parks and things like that.
Yep. Okay, you brought this CD called Country Faith.
Yes.
And so this is new.
Yes.
So let's talk about this.
Okay.
Talk about tell us about the CD, because I have not listened to it.
Okay, so I hadn't recorded for 15 years. So the last recording that I had done was with my brother and sister. And so I still have a huge list of songs that I eventually want to record, but this is some of my top picks that just over the years I've just been putting them kind of on a bucket list CD. And so this is the bucket list CD that I've been wanting to do for quite a few years now. So some of it is contemporary Christian, but I always throw a country twist on everything, so that's why, I mean, it just developed into a country faith CD. So some of them may be more of, you know, what people consider country songs, but yet they have a good moral meaning to them, and some are contemporary, but I make it all country. So.
I like the front of this. It says a little bit of grit and a whole lot of grace.
Yes.
And so where did that come from, or what does that mean to you?
Well, as with most people, life hasn't always been easy. So that's where the grit, I feel like God has been super graceful to me in my process of everything that I've gone through in life. And I've had to develop a lot of grit. And so with both of those, that's how I continue to keep going. Yeah,
and I know you've had struggles in the past with situations, and but you keep plugging away and you keep going, and I think that's awesome. Now, since the last time I've seen you, you got married too.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Got married in 2021, so last year in June.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you're also doing something with Eastern Heights. So tell us about that.
So Eastern Heights is comprised of great musicians throughout Branson. 3 of them that are in Eastern Heights are actually also in the Baldknobbers, which I'm in. So that's the association there. Grant Moody and Greg Moody, his father, and Josh Gabriel. And so they frequently play out at Silver Dollar City, and for this specific time of year, they wanted to do a little bit more country sound. So, like I said, I add country to everything.
There you go.
So they thought it'd be a good addition just to bring me along and see how it goes and just have some fun with it. And I'm the first female that's joined that band and done anything with them, so they thought it would be a good mix, you know, to add in.
So how does that work? Are they only playing on nights that you're not playing at the Baldknobbers, or?
Well, it's actually at 6 p.m.
Okay.
And then we jet over to the Baldknobbers for 8 p.m. So
There we go. So you're doing like 2 shows back to back.
Yes.
Wow. That's an easy answer. I hadn't thought of that because I didn't think about their starting their show earlier. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, entertainers in Branson, a lot of times you guys are going from gig to gig to gig, and you're hard working because you got to work when the gig happens.
yes.
Right?
Yep. Everything else has to fall in around it.
Yep. So where can people find this CD?
I don't have it in any stores, and unfortunately don't have it digitally yet. I need to get on the up and up of how to do that. But right now you can find it on my Facebook page. I've got it on there. And really and at the Baldknobbers show.
There you go. Go to the Baldknobbers
yes.
show and you can get it there.
Got it in the gift shop.
And then okay, so I do have to tell you, I Googled you before this interview.
Yeah.
And there is another entertainer with the same name as
I
you. And so
know.
if somebody Googles your name, they got to make sure they get to the right entertainer.
Yes.
And because there's someone else with the same name out there.
Yep. And that's
So-
why for like my Facebook page, it's Ashley Dawn Music, because there was an Ashley Dawn entertainer that was already taken.
So there's 2.
Yeah.
So Ashley Dawn Music on Facebook, and you can get it there, or you can go to the Baldknobbers. And so I'm anxious to listen to this. Country Faith, you folks check this out. We will be back in just a second to talk more about the Branson famous Baldknobbers. So we'll be back. Hang tight. Hey folks, welcome back to PlayBranson, and we are talking with Ashley Dawn with the world famous Baldknobbers. Now, here's the deal. Maybe somebody has never been to Branson, they're just accidentally watching this show. What are the Baldknobbers? And tell us about that.
Okay, so I'll start with the name.
Okay.
So the Baldknobbers name goes all the way back to the 1800s, and they are named after a group of vigilantes that used to meet on the top of treeless mountains, which were called bald knobs. So that's where the name came from.
Right. Okay.
So, and then the Branson's famous Baldknobbers adapted that name from that, and they were the very first show in Branson. They started out at Silver Dollar City, and the Mabe family started this band, and it's just grown over the years. So 63 years ago.
We're up to
is when they
63?
started. Yes.
Holy cow.
Yep. Been around 63 years.
Yeah. And so there is still Mabes in the show.
Yep. Brandon Mabe and his wife Megan Mabe
Right.
are the remaining Mabes left in the show, and it's comprised of 6-piece band, and we have 5 singers in it, and laser lights, smoke. I mean, we've got a full production show, a good mix of new country, old country, some classic rock, and Southern gospel.
So let's talk about the Christmas show.
Okay.
Can you tell me anything about the Christmas show?
Yes, so starting November 1st, we will be doing Christmas in the second half of our show. So we're going to keep the first half with some of our favorites from the year, from our regular show, and then it'll all turn to Christmas in the second half.
And so we always like to let people know that some shows are either 100% Christmas or they're half Christmas. And so in your case, you're doing a half Christmas show, and you're kind of keeping what I'd say the featured stuff.
Yes.
What about the comedy in the show? You still have comedy?
We still have Hargis. He's gosh, I'm not sure how long he's been doing it, but it's a very long time.
Yes, and by the way, we have an Hargis interview probably from last year, so if you want to see Hargis, go check that out.
Yes, and we also have, I should mention this as well, on Wednesdays and Thursdays we have a vintage show. So it's a throwback from over the last 63 years. We've been doing it all summer and all fall, and we just take songs from over the years, and we actually even wear costumes that have been in storage that we've pulled out and brought into the show. So that one's really fun. And so we also will have vintage Christmas as well. So that's Wednesdays and Thursdays at 2 o'clock.
So this has kind of been the first full season you've been doing this vintage show, right? And so what's been the reception to that?
Everybody loves it because, for people that don't like change, it kind of gives them that. So, say they've been coming since they were a kid and their grandparents brought them and they want to come, Branson tries to adapt to just the people that come here and what they expect, but some people don't want anything to change. And so we're trying to kind of tap into that and make sure that we keep the tried and true Baldknobbers and what people have grown up with, give them that option to be able to see all the vintage stuff.
So if people want to go see the vintage, you said it's Wednesday and Thursdays at 2, and then Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday at 8 p.m.
Yes, that's our regular show.
Let's talk a little bit about, I saw on your Facebook that you sang, and my opening monologue, I talked about Thunder Ridge Nature Arena. And so you got the privilege to sing the national anthem for one of their first events.
Yes, that was such an awesome experience and lined up by God's hand himself for that to happen. It was a great opportunity. I actually work out at Johnny Morris's golf courses, and the day before that, I met the CEO of the PBR, and I didn't know who he was at the time, and every now and then I'll sing for the golfers, just randomly, and I happened to sing for him, and we got to talking, and I told him that, before I even knew who he was, that I had wanted to try to figure out, how to sing the national anthem at the PBR. And he was like, well, I just so happen to be the CEO of the PBR. So he made that happen. He's like, what night do you want to sing? And he just made a phone call right then and made it happen. So that was an awesome opportunity.
So those are, and that's what I love about the show, is because those are the cool stories that you're not going to hear on a stage, but that are really interesting from, just how God makes things happen.
Yes.
And I think people should go golf and just, if you see her on the golf course, you might get that's added value to get you to sing on the golf course.
There you go.
I haven't never seen that happen before. So, but I know you're working out at Paynes Valley a couple days a week out there. And that's one thing is, sometimes people think entertainers, they do have a lot of other time to do things. And so sometimes entertainers do other things in town as well.
Yep.
So, what's on the horizon? Anything in the horizon that we need to know about?
Well, I love the Baldknobbers. I plan on sticking with them for quite a while. It's truly developed into just a really, it's a family, So.
What songs are you doing in the show? Can you give us a hint on the Christmas show, what you're doing?
Well, for the Christmas part, I'm going to be doing some Brenda Lee, Rocking Around the Christmas Tree.
Okay.
And then I am also doing, let's see.
I put you on the spot.
Yeah, I know. We're actually not super deep into rehearsals, so some things are still up in the air.
Okay.
But I will be doing a little bit of yodeling.
A little bit of yodeling.
There's just a little hint.
So my question would be could you do any yodeling right now?
Oh my. I haven't even warmed up today.
Okay, so I shouldn't ask this question.
It probably wouldn't sound very good.
I will cut you some slack. Now, I have asked people to do that in the past, and I have gotten some to do it, but I understand.
Yeah.
But we do now know that you yodel.
Yes.
So the next time you're on the show,
Come warmed up,
okay. Prepared.
I
Another 3 years. Another 3 years. Now, we like to have a variety of people on the show.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it does take a while to get people back. Mark, So those of you that don't know, and I don't talk about this, but right over there, I've got a great guy that has helped me since day one on this show, and he makes it all happen. And so hats off to him. I don't give him enough credit on the show, so Mark, good job. And then I got to thank Molly as well, because Molly helps actually get all of our entertainers in here. And I'm just telling you, sometimes that's hard. Sometimes it's not, but sometimes it's hard. So we want to thank Molly, because there's a lot of people that help make this all possible, and our entertainers that come in. So that was a little sidebar. Sorry, I just had to. We're spontaneous sometimes here in what we do. Okay, I want to highlight this one more time, folks. Country Faith, yes, Country Faith, Ashley Dawn. You can get this on Facebook.com, Ashley Dawn Music.
Yes.
And you can order it there, or just go see the Baldknobbers show, and you can buy it, I guess, in the gift shop or after. Now, do you guys come out after the show?
Yes, we typically do. Every now and then there may be one of us that don't get to come out. But, yep, we go up into the lobby and get to meet everybody, and we'll sign them. And
sign them, autographs.
Yep.
Shake
Take
hands
some pictures.
or fist bump or whatever.
Yep.
You know, people weren't doing that for a while with COVID, but I know a lot more entertainers now are doing that again. So.
Yep.
Okay, folks, we are going to be back in just a second to wrap the show up. Ashley Dawn, thanks for coming out today.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
The Christmas season is a perfect time for family traditions. Branson's Lights of Joy, Branson's all-LED Christmas display drive-thru is a great way to create those lasting Christmas memories. Discover over 250 Christmas displays in an amazing drive-thru tunnel with state-of-the-art lighting. Branson's Lights of Joy is located just north of Sight and Sound Theater on Expressway Lane. Open nightly through January 2nd. Santa loves these lights and will be there on select nights. Visit lightsofjoydrivethru.com for more info and to book online.
To the show, we're wrapping the show up. We want to thank Ashley Dawn for coming out to the show today. Be sure to go see the Baldknobbers show, the world famous Baldknobbers. They're located over there on Highway 165, just a couple of blocks south of the Titanic Museum. Their schedule goes through December 30th of 2022, and you can catch them performing at 8 p.m. on Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday nights. That's going to be their Christmas show. And then they do a couple shows on Wednesday and Thursdays at 2. A lot of those will be the Baldknobbers Vintage Show, but there might be a couple days in there where they're doing the Christmas show as well. The other thing I do want to mention, our next show, I have Tiffany Renee Bear coming, and she is playing Mary at the Sight and Sound Theater in The Miracle of Christmas. And so I'm so excited to talk to one of the leading roles, one of the actresses there. And so I'm looking forward to getting to meet her and hear her story. The other thing, we do have still some limited engagements that are happening in town. And so let me tell you what some of those are. Over at the Clay Cooper Theater, we have Matt Gum and Company doing 2 shows in December, the 7th and 19th. Over at the Mansion Theater, we have a lot of shows still here in November. So on November 18th, the Gatlin Brothers. So if you're watching this when they're here, go check them out. The Bellany Brothers on the 19th, Disney Princess December 1st, Home Free Family Christmas December 7th. So the Mansion's had a pretty great run of a lot of limited engagements this season. And folks, if you still are sitting at home saying, I need to go to Branson for Christmas, you still can, because we go through the end of the year. They are trying to extend that Christmas season to January 7th, so some people are even staying open longer. And so you have over 6 million lights at Silver Dollar City. You have Christmas light drive-thrus like the Lights of Joy Christmas drive-thru. You have shopping. You have tons of Christmas shows. There's another place like this in the country, and the folks at ibranson.com can help you plan your entire Branson vacation. You can either book it online, or you can call them at 877-ENTERTAIN. So folks, go check out our Facebook page, go check out our YouTube page, subscribe to us, like us, let us know who you'd like to see on a future episode, and we'll see you next week as we talk to Tiffany Renee Bear with Sight and Sound. So see you next week.